What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That flash making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. It's the day after. It's the day after the prophecy is close to being fulfilled. It must launch. It's a day after knowing that dudes found out the King is 98% right all the time. You can run from it. You can try to deny it. It's inevitable. The Messiah of Xbox, the truth prophet, because Lord Sovereign had to bend the knee. And y'all will see that Sunday on Iron Lord's podcast. We're going to get into a lot of things today. The sales of a certain bot, the sales of a certain drive, the pre-orders, the thoughts, the process of things to come. Ubisoft in turmoil. This is Xbox Frontline News, where we're going to talk about the industry as a whole. And there's a hole in the industry right now, a black hole, in which the PlayStation 5 will fall into the abyss. Say hello to the Pro, the last Sony console.
I respect someone who has the balls to tell me they can't stand me to my face. It's way better than those spineless fakes who play nice up front but stab me in the back the moment I turn around.
Yo, the Plucky Squire. All right, so the Plucky Squire has been something that I've been following around. I've been looking, I've been checking out some stuff about it, and it looks really cool. I love those games. You know, the games that was made from Media Molecule, Big Sack Boy, pause. I like those worlds that transport the video games into, like, they come like out of the page and then go into the real world. Those stuff interests me. I've always been like a fan of Toy Story and those type of things, is because you can see I have a lot of statues, and before I used to collect a lot of toys. I've always been a toy collector. I've always been had of an imaginative type of mind, and those games actually just speak to me. The level of diversity and the things that you're able to do reminds me of a child's playground. A book comes to life, imagination, thought processes that transforms the individual video game scape into something greater. And I just like the Plucky Squire, and I think the Plucky Squire is something that will probably resonate with a lot of people. Is it maybe an acquired taste? We don't know, because it has so many different play mechanics, and it looks so polished. The world looks nice. The narrator sounds good. It's a lot of different things that puts me in a mindscape of this game is something to behold and something to be cherished in our chosen media of fun, our genres, and this is a multi-genre game. So I'm truly anticipating playing the Plucky Squire, even though I have a backlog from hell. I think there's so many good games that are being released that it takes us and pulls us into too many places. But I can't wait to get a chance to partake in this game in some form or fashion. Maybe one of these days I will have like at least a good 24 hours to just sit there and game and take a vacation, just take some gaming days to myself. But these are one of the games that I do like and I have seen. And I just wanted to talk about it. And maybe somebody that didn't know about the Plucky Squire will be interested. We get the reason why we know that unstable box needed a Pro. Warhammer 40K Space Marine impresses on Xbox Series S and X. But flags on the play when it comes to that PlayStation 5 version. First things, PlayStation 5 and the Series X, you have the choice of this 30 frames quality mode or 60 frames per second speed mode. While the Series S, it locks you in at 30 frames per second. Experience on getting largely familiar with the speeds and the modes on other platforms, though the setting differences here are minor. The quality mode on premium consoles expect the dynamic internal resolution of 1080p to 1440p, upscaling to 4K with FSR2. And speed modes is a little bit lower with 720 to 1080p, upscale to 4K. And Series S does the same thing. Now we need to get to the part where the PlayStation 5 sucks. As well as having a higher average frame rate, the Xbox version also benefits from the platform's wider VRR window of 40 to 60 hertz versus 48 to 60 hertz on the PlayStation 5. Space Marine. Built Ford tough, built for the Xbox platform. Warhammer Marine 40K, Warhammer Space Marine 2 40K. It's a game that is highly demanding, uses RDNA 2, and it's a reason why the PlayStation is suffering. It's an unstable box, and it needs to be stable, so that's why you have the PlayStation 5 Pro, to mitigate these performance issues that hampers the base model PlayStation 5. It's around that time for them to go to the public and gouge them, their fan base. And yeah, well, this would be one of the games for you individuals to have a PlayStation. And if you're in the market for a PlayStation 5 Pro, this is one of the games that will stabilize the frame rate, like the Series S, which is a stabilized frame rate, and definitely the Xbox Series X, which is a stabilized frame rate. Those are stable boxes, unlike that unstable box, which is the PlayStation 5. So definitely you need a Pro. Now you know. And what can be only looked at as a declaration of war, the internal infighting from the board over at Ubisoft is threatening to disrupt and remove the people that are in charge. The Guillemets and Tencent, the main shareholders in the Ubisoft stake, are being threatened with a coup from the board members. One heavily invested member is saying they are being held hostage as a board by the majority holders, which is the Guillemets and Tencent. They want, and these are demands, they want the stocks to be taken off of public trading to go private, and they also want the heavily owned investors to be ousted. They're giving the board 60 days to reply. They dropped the information down. They gave a written letter. And I'm telling you, this is something out of Game of Thrones, in which AJ Investments are now talking to other shareholders to overthrow the Guillemets. And they want a sale process of Ubisoft to happen. This is going to happen. I honestly believe Ubisoft won't survive this level of infighting, if you will, from the board. Ubisoft is under siege, and I'm talking about the majority shareholders of Tencent and the Guillemot twins. Well, brothers, not twins, sorry. They're trying to stage a coup. The board is trying to overthrow them. They want to sell. They want to sell. They want to go closed. They want to be able to fix things. They don't like the direction in which the Ubisoft company is going. On the heels of them releasing, I think it's season 8 in For Honor, I think it's Shield and something like that. I always applauded Ubisoft for their stick-to-itiveness for all their franchises that they release. They try their best to support their franchises like The Siege, like For Honor, and they do things in a manner that I felt that was nice for the industry. I'm a member of Ubisoft Plus. I patron their games, and I do see a sharp decline when it comes to enthusiasm to Ubisoft games. I see the heavy monetization of their fan base, and their games are, if you say, time consumers to the massives, like me playing Odyssey or Ragnarok, and those games took a lot of my time. And then they tried to repeal it and give you something like Mirage. And I think they are kind of a ship right now with a broken rudder, and they need somebody to guide them properly. But this is one to watch. I don't think Ubisoft makes it out of this. I think there's some shakeups that's going to happen. Because if the whole board decides that they want to move in one direction and they pull funding, Ubisoft can find themselves in a whole heap of trouble. And that's something I don't believe that they want. In the scary world of digital purchases and physical purchases, where games have to be online always, Ubisoft has brought forth the worst nightmares of scary individuals with developers and producers having sole control. Ubisoft says it won't kill The Crew 2 and Motorfest when their servers go dark. The first game in the Crew series was made unplayable for those who brought it, but the follow-up titles won't get the same raw deal, which is great news for players, which is terrible news for you if you purchased The Crew, the first one. You likely know back in March, the publisher Ubisoft has deactivated the Always Online Racer. It effectively made physical copies of the game paperweights, bricked the digital copies as well as they purchase for downloadable content. It's one thing to have a game delisted and rendered unpurchasable, but it's unfortunately what happens is individuals find themselves at a loss because this always online game with real world race licenses that expire after a number of years has now become defunct. Well, thankfully, it seems the publisher might have learned his lesson and won't be killing off The Crew 2 and The Crew Motorfest the same way years down the line. They said they heard their concerns, and they're making sure to take the process in order for the game not to see the same fate as the original Crew. The Crew 2, The Crew Motorsports. The Crew was taken offline and hampered and essentially turned the disc version and the digital into bricks. That's a nightmare. That's a terrible scenario for consumer. In this digital age, we are looking at not having as much control over what we purchase. That stuff has been removed from the hands of the consumer, and the consumer is at the mercy of the developer and the producers. When you run games and you put them in servers, you have to run servers, and those games are no longer seeing traction. Is those 100 to 200 people that are playing not valuable? They were valuable when you was using your statistics in the beginning. So the fact that is what's happening now, we're seeing a trend where games are being delisted, and that doesn't bode well for the digital consumer, knowing that now we're into a digital world. And a lot of individuals found out that there was an offline mode that was inside the Crew that allegedly that they decided not to activate. And that is scary. But apparently the Crew 2 and the Motorsport a Motorfest will have offline modes. So that will kind of give you a type of safety net. I just feel that it's necessary in order to have those things because it's scary. Well, in the news of people wanting the most for less, as Microsoft rolls out a cheaper Xbox Game Pass, it says day and date games might not come to the new standard version for 12 months or more, if at all. The standard will not immediately get day one releases included in the pricing tiers. As stated back in July, Microsoft told you the middle tier, the $15 a month Game Pass standard, is officially being rolled out after being announced. Notably, Hellblade, Diablo, and Starfield are no longer there in this restructuring plan. But if you want day one games, you can sign up to Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass. There you have it. If you can't afford the highest tier and you have the middle tier, stop looking for the perks of the highest tier in the middle tier. All right, so we were already told about the cheaper Game Pass tier and the standard, and we were also told that that those things that were originally afforded to Game Pass as a whole will be repealed and put into a different conversation as far as, well, game content. And Game Pass will continue to deliver what they do, but the standard mode is kind of like the Series S. And you have to look at standard and as a Series S, and you have to look at Ultimate and Game Pass PC as the premium. Now, if you want the same level of perks at a cheaper price and you have a PC, get Game Pass PC. You will be afforded the luxury of day and date at a cheaper price. Isn't that right, Apollo Dingo? We allow you to have fun for $8 less, but make sure, Dingo, you have my money. Now, other than that, Game Pass Ultimate is exactly what it claims to be. And for that price, you're able to do what? Get day and date. So I would suggest individuals that either have a problem with this tier to go out and get Game Pass Ultimate. And to help you along, I have something for you right now. So therefore, I'm just not talking out of my butt talking about go pay $20. I got you. The king got you. We save money here. We're not over here talking about we want to spend more. We want to run it up. We're not dumb. We're not stupid. We're not ponies. Let's get it. Back to deals. In order for people to actually save some money, you can grab Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscriptions for half off right now. So you can take yourself over to CD Keys and you can pick up a 1-month subscription for $11.19. That's $9 off. And the 3-month codes for $29.79. That's about $30 off. These aren't the lowest prices that they've seen, but they sure beat paying the subscription's new price of $19 a month. So in order for us to save money, we have to find these deals. And in order to find these deals, you have to go to Xbox Frontline News, where I'll scour the universe to bring back the savings. Now you see, I told you. Now that you don't have to cry, just go to CD's Keys and run it up on them. Get yourself an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, and you don't have to worry about date and date missing you. But if you're on the standard tier and I don't know what your finances look like, all I can do is just try to help as best as I can. So if you didn't have the information, you have the information now. Go out patron them, save some money, and also look to Xbox Frontline News to always bring back savings to the community, because that's the only thing we care about. How to game for less at the maximum height of gaming. And Game Pass Ultimate is that maximum height of gaming. But I'm going to teach you how to do it on the low. And is what's shocking news to me, but really, how shocked can I be, honestly, when I saw this game and realized exactly what it was, purchased the game, and tell me how my fraud behind haven't got a chance to play it yet. Space Marine 2's boss, former ID Software CEOs, reckon that the Warhammer hit is the fastest selling game that they've ever worked on. That's including titles like Quake, Doom, Wolfenstein, and all those wonderful Rage games. It's crazy to see how the gaming community has galvanized around these games without an agenda, with strong male role models and strong female role models, without any agendas and any inclusion or any of that other crap, just giving you great gameplay and wonderful characters that you actually want to be. And these games are dominating the charts. Space Marine 2 apparently beating the likes of Doom, Wolfenstein, Quake, and Rage to the fastest seller that this former CEO of ID has ever saw. The game broke the publisher's Focus Entertainment records for the most concurrent Steam players at a whopping 134,000 players. Space Marine 2 is a massive hit for both Saber Interactive and Focus Entertainment, with no signs of slowing down thanks to the year one roadmap that includes new missions, weapons, enemy types, and more. I love success stories, and this is one that I'm a part of, even though my fraud behind hasn't had the chance to even boot it up. Space Marine 2. Now, I'm an absolute fraud. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm an absolute fraud. But at the same time, I want you to understand, I didn't get a chance to play yet. And Lord Attic is on Attic Arena. He's doing it. I work a job. All right. And when I come back home, I also manage a household. And I also take care of my children. I'm a full-time father. I make sure that I do everything that I'm supposed to do. And game time is really at a premium at this moment, because I have so many games that I do want to play, and this is such a great time in gaming. And this is one of the games that I was truly anticipating, and I thought I have the time to play it. But I got a guy coming to fix the boiler. Oh, well, not fix the boiler, tune up the boiler. Y'all know, if anybody has a house, you understand that this is winter time. You're doing winter prep. And, you know, the lawn guy, got to pay the lawn guy. And the guy comes over, they got to make sure homework and stuff is done. But real life setting aside, Space Marine 2 has taken the world by storm. And I love the unapologetic nature of the game. It's just a game with badass characters that we want to be, and on a campaign that we can get behind, on doing things that we love as far as attacking monsters in space. We want to be immersed in worlds and do laws and just be a part of something that feels epic and grand and dope in scope. That's why games like this will continue to win. I heard stupid crap when it came to Black Myth Wukong about there's not being any diversity. I don't know how much diversity you need when it comes to a monkey and a wolf and a frog and a big head baby and all this other stuff. I don't like the agendas and stuff in my games. And those games that do have an agenda that is skewing it far from something other than needs to be, they should suffer. They should be eliminated. I love the purity and the sanctity of what we do as far as play video games. I love the ability to grab a plumber and go and jump on Goombas. Oh, I love the ability to, as you know, to be an axe wielding, God killing individual that traverses the land, teaching his son how to be like him. Or I love being a blue Sonic the Hedgehog that is just running through the land. It's these epic, iconic characters that's transcended and pushed along great numbers. So there's no doubt that these characters are resonating with the public. The populace is tired of your agendas. We are sick and tired of your ulterior motives and the reflection of great sales on these games that we love are showing you. We don't want your agendas in our mediums. You put it there, you're going to be just like Concord. You're gonna die. Palworld is getting a PlayStation 5 announcement, and it seems inevitable as the hit survival game is shown to have a port leaked ahead of the Tokyo Game Show. A PlayStation version will be reportedly playable at the showroom floor. Palworld appears to be taking another step closer to its inevitable PlayStation release, according to the list of games appearing at this year's Tokyo Game Show. The list of game attendees published ahead of the event later this month includes Palworld, an established game at the show, as well as being available on Steam, Xbox Series X. However, Palworld lists also being playable at the PlayStation 5. This should be news to the Palworld community, who up until now have only been playing the game on PC and Xbox. This is incredible news, especially ahead of the release of the PlayStation 5 Pro. So now you can use those extra frames and maybe, dare I say, ray tracing? This is something to keep our eyes out for, because maybe that PlayStation Pro can actually be worth the money. And great news, a third-party developer is taking their third-party game that was on the Xbox, well, that is on the Xbox console and PC, and there's a rumor that at the Tokyo Game Show that Palworld will be joining the PlayStation Nation. And that is a wonderful thing that a third-party distributor is doing what a third party is supposed to do. Get the games to where they're supposed to be played. Because the more people that plays a third-party game makes it better. Hopefully, cross-play, cross-progression is available here. I don't expect anything less. And I can't wait to see Palworld running on a PlayStation 5 Pro to get us an extra 2 frames per second and a bump in resolution from 1440p to 1444p. Thank you for the PlayStation 5 Pro and its $700 to $900 price tag in delivering the smallest, most minor bump that we've ever seen. And what can only be the signs of individuals losing their mental capacity of reasoning. In a day and age where you have foolish mortals yelling out, the PlayStation disk drive is currently outselling all Xbox consoles on Amazon in the USA. You have fools telling you that this disk drive is outselling a console that is upwards of 5 to 7 times more in price than the disk drive. It damn well should. But to a larger degree, this shows the distrust in the Sony fans of Sony itself, or a more insidious thought that scalpers know you stupid idiots will need this product come November. And the only place you can get it is in the markup area. Like the king knows, because the king is trying to get 20 of them. The most boneheaded thought process in telling somebody that a peripheral that is selling more than a console has to be the most idiotic thought process that I've ever heard in my life. What's happening is whatever is associated to making money is going to sell. Now, let me give you a stupid ponies the thought process and what happening, because you thinking that there's PlayStation people that are buying these disk drives in order to give you a predictive nature that the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to sell. You dumb fools. Scalpers are getting those disk drives. Individuals like myself that is going to take advantage of your level of ignorance. And I'm going to sell those disk drives for $300 a piece. I'm going to make triple my money. I'm trying to get my hands on 10 of them in order to sell it to individuals that will be desperate like yourself. I'm going to run it up on you bums. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how it is. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation, because your level of ignorance and stupidity is allowing me to make and take all the bread. Thank you.
It's big for me. Just give me my money. Just give me my money.
So what people are not understanding, Xbox is bringing back friend requests for the first time since the Xbox 360 era. And I know you guys are trying to say, well, I can request friends and stuff like that. Now, well, what is apparently happening is this is a confusing state, to be honest, for a lot of people. So this new way, since, actually the new old way, you would, is a two-way invite approval relationship. Users will be able to continue to separately follow content creators, but what happened before is easy send, accept, and delete friends requests. Somebody would send you a friend request, you would get a notification, and then you both will be able to follow each other very instantly. The thing with the system now is somebody can follow you and you don't know that they're following you, and you don't get a notification that that you can follow them right back. So there you go. Now the friend request system is updated. These are things that are happening in the background to allow yourself to be able to use your mobile, use your television, use your laptop, use your handheld, and use your PC. This is the ecosystem in which the ascendant ones like myself have traversed. This picture here is exactly what Xbox wants you to do, what we're supposed to do as far as the evolution of video games. And they have made it a whole lot easier to traverse all these separate mediums in order to reach your friends, see your friends, and acknowledge your friends in the space that you game with your friends. In other news that's not news, this really shouldn't be news, Xbox eliminated the ability to do the friend request thing before, and now it's back. 360 era type moves is happening. I send you a friend request, you get a notification, you reply to that request, boom, we're together. That happens. Right now, I can just follow you. There's a bunch of people following me. I don't get a notification. I don't know you're following me. I think this should be a process, and they brought it back. It was a process before. I don't know why it went that way, but maybe when we went to the Xbox One, because that was a larger change from going from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One. And in that change, it broke some stuff. And I think sometimes when you go back to base zero, because I think the Xbox One went to base zero, and from there it built up. So back to our regularly scheduled program. And following with more stupid comments, the lack of competition from the Xbox partly is why the PlayStation Pro is $700, says an analyst. That level of stupidity is ignorant at best. But I'm going to break down exactly why. The low IQ fool in the room doesn't understand how competition and how business works. So, leave it up to Xbox Frontline News to bring you the best in news and deciphering these crazy streets where misinformation is thrown at you daily. But I'll break it down and I'll show you how these fools has it all wrong and Xbox is actively playing the puppet master to the puppet, which is Sony. All everyone's is thinking about right now is the PlayStation 5 Pro, this mid-gen console price, and it's easy to understand why, because it's $700. That's a disingenuous number when you begin to look at it at all. And these dudes say chain of supply, inflation, to protect its margin, and all these stupid quotes is regurgitated word food and stupid lettuce that you don't want to eat. But we're going to get into this. Okay, so this next video is going to offend a lot of people. And this is really, truly not so much indicative of the language that we use on Xbox Frontline News. But Xbox Frontline News is an Iron Lords podcast. So a lot of the language will, in this segment, be a little bit rough, a little bit harsh, a little bit to the point. But at the same time, it's absolutely necessary. So for all the ponies that I'm going to hurt your feelings, I don't give a shit. And for all you Xbox dudes, I want you to rival in this. I want you to stand up. I want you to make sure that you pound your chest, because we're going to kick Kong's teeth in, because we know he has a bad tooth.
Because I can't tell you how much I don't care. I couldn't even tell you how much.
It's being called the biggest fucking waste of your hard-earned money to come along in years. Sony's new stupid box thing hit the shelves at crowded malls and overpriced electronics stores around the country today.
It's got a whole bunch more memory and megapixels and whatnot than any of the other TV shit that I already have. I can't wait to get home and spend my whole fucking night trying to figure the goddamn thing out.
If you can somehow claw and bite your way through the impossible to open packaging, this stupid piece of shit offers a wide variety of frustrating as hell functions, including flashing random fucking words and numbers on its display screen, not coming with the fucking little doohickey thing it's supposed to, and being goddamned ass backward as fuck. Sony spokesman Alan Compton said the company designed this sucking fucking goddamn thing to make everyone in the modern home want to tear their fucking eyeballs out.
We listened hard to what our customers said they wanted the most out of their own home entertainment system, and then we pumped out this impossible to use fucking piece of shit.
Anyone mystified by the device's numerous extraneous features can scroll through the interactive help menu, a labyrinthine maze of indecipherable topics of use to fucking no one.
We want people to be screaming in unison from houses across the country. Work, you cocksucking piece of shit. What is wrong with you? Why can't you work like a normal machine?
With a $100 million nationwide campaign to plaster irritating ass advertisements for the retarded hunk of garbage every single goddamn place you look, Sony is expecting it to become the next fucking gizmo you absolutely have to fucking own if you don't want to feel like a toothless hillbilly living in some hillbilly shack somewhere.
I love bullshit like this. Basically, I'll buy any goddamn thing that I see in an ad.
The fucking piece of shit is available now. So run out and pick one up and invite all of your friends over to see if any of them can figure out this motherfucking time vampire. Unless one of them is a rocket scientist, Sony pretty much guarantees they'll have no chance. For the Onion News Network, I'm Jeff Tate.
Thanks, Jeff. Sony says they plan to release an upgraded 800-gigabyte version of this piece of shit by the end of the year, just when you figured out the goddamn remote control for this one. It never ends, this shit.
Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it! Astro bot in the UK sold a third lower than Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Ooh wee! It's crazy how they damage control Christopher Drain. He's always damaging control when it comes to the play station. No, anyway. But they said it's only physical, and they said just right now it's just trailing behind 2001's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And that's concerning. Because this game has rated high. It has the push from everybody else. Everybody in the media has been trying to push it. Sony propaganda machine has probably, taken this. They probably gave away so many copies of this game that was supposed to be a packing game. But I'm going to tell you what's going on with Astrobot and why Astrobot will not reach the sales numbers that these ponies think it should. Well, now that we see everything that we see there, now that we feel that Microsoft has competed in such a way that it has Sony scrambling and raising prices and doing things that is totally out of character, they're not going to forego taking a loss on this console, on its peripherals and everything. If I give you a breakdown, the disk drive costs like $12 to make in China. The stand, it's $3.02. They sell it for $30. The PlayStation itself, I think they're selling that at some form of a loss. It's probably like a $7 to $10 loss, but they're going to make the money back up in the peripherals. And you guys are falling for it hook, line, and sinker. And it's something crazy to see. But at the same time, in order for the prophecy to happen, hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how we do it over here. We're going to run it up on these bums. In order for that to be what it is, in order for that to be real, it has to come out. I'm going to present it. I'm going to show you. And I see a little narrative that's running around. You have some PlayStation dudes calling Xbox dudes the broke boys. Not the case. The problem is y'all are not demanding more from Sony. You guys are seeing something transpiring in front of you. I want you to know something. If Microsoft chose to go away, let me tell you a little history about Sony right now. They raised the prices on video games. They were the main proponent behind that. They gave you a service which there's no day and day, and they don't really care about what's in the service. They remove first-party games from a first-party service to remove value. They have given you more revisions of the PlayStation 5 hardware, and it's more in line with what Sega did before Sega left. They're trying to get as much money as they can from the same fan base. Sony has not innovated anything. They have actually duplicated. Now you're going to say, King, they have an AI chip in a box. Go to the Surfaces that was released this month. They have an AI in the box. All laptop PCs have AI chips. I told you the difference in the new keyboard that hasn't been changed in years is the AI button. Microsoft actually helped PlayStation with the AI algorithm that is inside that AI chip that's on board. You guys don't know who Sony is. Sony will continue to do underhanded things to you guys. And it's at a point where it's okay. Because you dudes will continue to blindlessly serve. And you might say, King, you're blindly serving Xbox. I have ascended. I game where I want to game, how I want to game, why I want to game. if it's on PC, if it's on my Steam Deck, if it's on my ROG, if it's on my Xbox Series X, on my S, on my PlayStation, on my Switch. When you no longer serve your purpose, I have no use for you. Xbox has shown me during this period of time that they are absolutely pro-consumer. The most anti-consumer box on the market today is the PlayStation. They want divisiveness. They don't want us all to play together. And remember, they were forced to bend the knee by Epic to give you cross-play and cross-progression. They have you paying for multiplayer online now when they were losing and they touted it was for free. Their service tiers don't equate to making a customer service, customer friendly thing. Remember when they had to ask you what star level you were in order to have good customer service? Do you understand what that means? Now, I want you port begging ponies to understand this. You guys keep pointing out Xbox games going to PlayStation. And cool, that might be a thing. Why are y'all begging for Starfield and not begging for Ghost of Tsushima 2? Why isn't Wolverine available alongside the PlayStation 5 Pro? Why aren't you demanding a roadmap from PlayStation? I heard a rumor that there's going to be a showcase later on this month for the PlayStation. And there's not going to be one first-party game there. There will be third-party games there. And third-party developers are going to carry the PlayStation. And they will continue to make side deals that harm the industry instead of help the industry. PlayStation is Kaiser Sosa. And he's been operating among you this whole time. At the same time, sabotaging you, your bank, and your family. Because you guys don't understand. That's not a big jump. That's not a good move. But this is the part in the video where I'm going to tell you to like, follow, and subscribe. And I know you dudes thought I was going to gloat more than I needed to do. But I don't need to gloat. Because you guys don't realize everything that I prophesized has come true and is coming true. When you have the Messiah of Iron Lord's podcast bending the knee to the prophet, you guys are going to learn. And I'm going to throw that logo around. Space Marines 2. Yet again. Please, God, allow me to play that game. And all I'm going to tell you is, try to play the Game Pass.